Welcome back, and today I'm going to answer a question that I get very often. I just hit level 72, now what? Well, by the end of this video, you'll have enough gear to take down Maliwan and burn through any trial on Mayhem 11. So today, I'm going to show you what I do when I level cap a character. This is an opinion-based video, and my opinion is Mayhem modifiers suck. So I want to get to Mayhem 11 ASAP. So I go after the easiest Mayhem 10 gear to get me started and on my way to killing all the raid bosses in the game and collecting all the hardest gear to get. But before that, let's take 1 minute of our time and explain the infinite money duping glitch, because first thing you want is all your SDUs. The glitch has been in the game since launch and it's super easy, and to my understanding it works on console also. So if we look into my mailbox, there's nothing in here. Go to the tip jar and get a gun, okay? A hail. So now we're gonna go to the vending machines. Alright, so if you want to know how to dupe this gun, open your social tab, open your mailbox, click on this gun. See, it's gone, but if I click on network and then come back, it's back again. Now you can do 50 guns at one time if you have enough space in your bags to do so, be my guest. And it's still only one switch back, so you can clear this entire mailbox and then do one switch back and it'll be there again. So now we just turned one hail into 3. And there's still one in our bag. Just make sure you switch back after every time you do it or you will lose them. And on Mayhem 11, these sell for $374,000. So you can hit cash cap in literally 10 minutes. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's start with base game things first. Now just because you own the DLC doesn't mean skip this part. The DLC just gives you extra easy things to get, not a whole new route. Unless of course you just don't want an AK that shoots 16 bullets at a time. So the first thing you want to do, make sure you're on Mayhem 11. So after you completed the story mode, make sure you talk to Tannis again and unlock Mayhem 11. Switch it to Mayhem 11 while you're on Sanctuary, because this is going to make the guns that Moxxi give you also Mayhem 11. Then you want to go to the tip jar and get yourself a crit. Okay, now that you have a crit, the crit also heals you for a % of the damage it does, so it's an amazing gun to keep you up. And also, just because it's a purple, don't let that fool you. This is a legendary quality gun. I just don't think they wanted to make it a legendary card. But this you want to have in your bag forever, because it's always useful, especially against shielded enemies. The next gun you want to get from her is a hail. I prefer it in radiation because of who we're going to go immediately after and kill with it. Plus, radiation just opens the door for killing most things that aren't armored. Armor is really the only downfall against radiation. Now the hail's only weakness is its weird shot trajectory, so if something's right in front of you, you basically have to point at the floor to get it to hit them. But if they're far away, you can use the sights. It shoots like a grenade launcher from like Modern Warfare 2 or something. For anointments on these weapons, the best choice for all around, not having any idea what Vault Hunter or build you have, go with next to mag anointments. Without going into great detail, try and roll a different element other than what's already on it. For example, if you have a fire weapon, put on shock element, so you can bust shields and flesh without having to switch guns. However, that will make the gun terrible against armor, but you get the idea. Build accordingly to what you want to do next. Okay, so the first thing we want to get is going to be the stopgap shield. The stopgap shield comes from Jacob's Estate. Once you're in Jacob's Estate, just follow my path here. We're going to end up over here. He hides underneath the waterfall. And you want to go ahead and change your Mayhem mode back down if you haven't already. Because shields, artifacts, and class mods do not have a Mayhem multiplier. It does not matter if they are Mayhem 1 or 10, they are the same. I don't know why I get people in the comments that think that's wrong, but just to show you, I promise you my Revolter was dropped on Mayhem 11, because it's a god roll Revolter. I put a lot of time into getting it. It's exactly the same as one from Mayhem 1. So that's just a little PSA. Anyways, now we're on the way. You can follow this route. Also, you can turn around. There is a chest there you can open. And I find the hail to kill him the easiest. I still have the crit. Mine is a binary crit, so it wasted a ton of ammo. And he'll pop out right there. Boom, dead. Jeez, did we get it? No, but that's the path you'll take, so from here on you'd save quit. Okay, so the reason the stopgap is such a powerful shield is because when it breaks, you get 5 seconds of being invincible. So if you put an action skill start anoint on that, every time you start your action skill, you'll be invincible for 5 seconds. So it's a really good starter shield to keep you alive when your gear is low. Okay, so the next item we need to get is the Victory Rush artifact. It's also here in the Jacob's estate. You have to come to this man right here that you've been walking by. He'll give you a quest. Complete the quest chain, and it will unlock the woman we need to kill to get this to drop. If you've already completed this quest chain, just follow this. And this farm's super easy because you literally spawn in the room with her. So when you do your save quit, it's easy peasy, because there's your save point. Now all you have to do is get her attention. Now that you've got her attention, come and stand behind this tree, and you can watch her on the mini-map in the corner. And she'll wander right up to you. And just rinse and repeat. The Victory Rush is a very powerful artifact for in-game raids. Even if you have DLC, this will still show up in many in-game builds. Plus 18% damage and movement speed for a full minute is great in raids and trials with a large amount of badasses to proc it off of. And that's not even counting the secondary stats, which because I'm a Mo's main, I want plus mag size on everything I can, because it synergizes very well with percent-based ammo regen. So the more ammo a gun holds, the faster you get ammo back. There are only a few guns that can drain faster than I can regen, and one of those monsters is coming up on this list. For the next item we're gonna get the Transformer Shield. You get that from Pandora, then the Splinterlands, and then go to the Chop Shop. Once you're at the Chop Shop, grab a car. Once you're in your car, there's gonna be a lady with a quest right here. So we need to grab it first to make sure this mini boss spawns. Now this lady right here will give you the quest Just Desserts. That's all you need. You don't even have to complete it. It's just to make sure the mini boss spawns. Now you have a big marker of where you need to head next. Now once you've made it to the cave entrance, just follow me. And I'll show you exactly where she spawns. We're still on Mayhem 1, so anything in here should be easily killable for you. She spawns right here.
Here we go.
And just farm her up until you get what you want. You might be asking yourself, why do I need a transformer? I just got the stopgap. Well, do you remember that AK that can shoot 16 bullets at a time? That's why. Also, you want to keep different shields for different situations. You can see my Maliwan takedown with only white weapons video to see that the transformer saved that run for me. Also, the transformer shield trivializes Kilovolt, the boss we're going to next. Okay, so if you've never done the Kilovolt quest before, you have to complete it to get him to respawn. If you're at the Meridian Metroplex, here's the quest marker right here. You can also get this quest directly from Moxxi herself, but it's right here. Kill Kilovolt. Okay, so this is the part where you want to throw on your Transformer Shield that we collected earlier and your Radiation Hail. Now the reason we want to use the Transformer Shield against him is because you want to stand in all the electricity he throws out. Because that shield makes it so you don't lose any if you're taking electricity damage. It actually recharges the shield. So that's why it trivializes him as a boss. With enough ammo, you could kill him with a squirt gun as long as you have that shield equipped. Just a random tip for anyone on Mo's. Switch Iron Bear to railguns, and have a gun with 150% railgun damage anoint. If you don't know how to make Eridium easy, check out this video in the corner. If you're not on a platform that supports cards, go to my channel, scroll down to the guides section, and click on 20,000 Eridium per hour video. Okay, back to the video. Now after you have that equipped, you can melt Kilovolt in seconds. And if you're on Mo's, most bosses can be cheesed with Iron Bear because of how well it scales in Mayhem modes. So one more tip before we get into the DLC section. Note, this can be done right after getting Moxxi's Weapons if your current class mod blows. What about class mods? Because class mods are so specific to class and builds, I can't show you the exact one to get, but I can give you some advice. After you have Moxxi's Mayhem 11 weapons, just like artifacts and shields, class mods don't have a Mayhem level, So you can farm them super easy on Mayhem 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in here just because I know someone will bring it up. The only difference about shields in Mayhem 10 versus 1 is you are more likely to get an anointment on your shield. With your Mayhem 10 crit, you can destroy almost any Mayhem 1 boss in seconds with it. Okay, so if you're trying to figure out which mod to get, the best resource for this game is lootlemon.com. What you want to do to find mods is click on Borderlands 3 on this pop-out. Go to class mods, and then once you're here, you want to move over here to the filters option. And now you can filter to your specific class. I'm on Moe's right now. Then you can select legendary. And let's say you only have the base game. Well, you can select just the base game. And now you can scroll to your heart's content. These are all the options in our parameters. But if you want to know where it comes from, click on the item, scroll to the bottom of the page. Nice ads. And it tells you where or what enemy to kill to get this item to drop. So if we click on the Anointed X4, it also shows a detailed map. So you can find out the Anointed X4 is this red icon. You find the red icon on the map, that's where it's at. And it also gives a note up here to tell you that you need to do this quest to get this person to spawn. Almost every boss's location is shown on their Loot Lemon page. But if it isn't, now you have the name so you can dig for it further on Google. Alright, let's jump into the DLC now. The DLC opens up so many more options, so I'm just going to keep it down to these 3 things. Now if you played Borderlands 2, then you know what the B shield is. This shield is the Borderlands 3 answer to that shield. It is a must-have on every Vault Hunter and can turn any weapon into a viable one. The shield comes from Sumo. You can farm Sumo after doing the side quest found in Ava's room called Murder on Eschaton Row. It's a pretty short quest, with Sumo being the last boss you fight in the quest. And as soon as the mission is over, you can do a save quit and you will spawn right above him on the stairs and you can start farming him. So Arms Race is the DLC that Axton and Salvador bug you about every time you go back to Sanctuary. You start it by clicking on the poster on the wall in Sanctuary. Now Arms Race is probably my least favorite activity in this game, because if I wanted to play a worse version of Tarkov, I'd play DMZ. However, this is a great way to get some of the best weapons in the game early, because they strip you of all your gear and talents, so your gear means jack shit. And Mayhem 11 is just as annoying as Mayhem 1, so you may as well do everything on 11. There are so many good weapons here. The best thing to do is go back to Loot Lemon, filter out to DLC 5 weapons only, and take your pick. Now that you have one picked, click on it, and it will show you which crate it will spawn in. And note that everything can also drop from the final boss in Arms Race. So if you're doing it right, you get 2 chances per run to get what you want. Here are 3 of my favorite guns from Arms Race. The first one is going to be the Dark Army, which if possible you want to get in the plus version. This gun's awesome because it does splash damage, which makes it amazing on Moe's and Amara. This gun also has 3 drones that follow you around while this thing is equipped. You don't have to feed them ammo like the 10-gallon, they just always shoot at whatever you're shooting at. The next gun is going to be the Tizzy. The Tizzy is an amazing COV pistol. What it does is when the Tizzy starts to overheat, it gains bonuses. So when it overheats, you get increased fire rate, magazine size. Also, every 6 bullet ricochets and strays through the air, and every 12th shot is amped and deals plus 70% damage. But if I had to choose just one, I'd pick the plasma coil every time. This thing is a monster on every Vault Hunter, but really shines on Moe's and Amara because of splash damage. Just like the Dark Army. It shoots at an 18-round burst that it's blindingly fast. If you pair that with a Maliwan Company, man, this gun is unstoppable. Okay, so last on our list is the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge. This comes from one of the last main story quests of the Guns, Love, and Tentacles DLC. Warning, do not do this quest until you hit level cap, or else you will have to do TVHM to get a second try because it's a quest reward. So you get this item from Claptrap because Gage gave him an impossible task to find it to keep him out of everyone's hair. But funnily enough, before you start the final section of the DLC, he found it, and he gives it to you right before you leave to save Wainwright. The Pearl is undoubtedly one of the best artifacts in the game. It gives a stacking damage buff that can give you over 100% more damage at max stacks, which makes it a must-have in everyone's kit. So now that I've given you the tools to do anything you need on Mayhem 11, your next journey is up to you. You could go back to lootlemon.com and look through all the weapons and items available to you and farm them for the best rolls, or you can try and bring down all the raid bosses in the game. Killersix has a great video about them. I'll leave that linked in the video description below. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Boy!